What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex Yu, and you're watching a Marvel edition of the Ragin Nation show. This is just Webster's. We're talking about all things matter me in the world of Marvel films. This is episode number 138. In this episode, we're going to talk about X-Men Dark Phoenix, X-Men New Mutants, and also what's going on at Sony's Spider-Verse. So let's talk about some casting news for X-Men Dark Phoenix. First of all, we know that it's going to be directed by Simon Kinberg, who was the producer and writer for the previous X-Men films. And also, we now know that Jessica Chastain is in talks to play a villain in X-Men Dark Phoenix. Now, who's she going to play? Well, according to comingsoon.net, she will be playing Lilandra. Now, actually, I'm not that familiar about this character, but based on what it says here, she's the empress of an alien empire called the Shi'ar, who leads the quest to imprison and execute Dark Phoenix, leading her into conflict with the X-Men. Now that sounds pretty interesting, but it sounds like it's getting really into the cosmic realm of the X-Men universe, just like how, we have Thanos in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It feels like this is like their version of that. And I really don't know very much about Lilandra, but she's coming from space. So anyways, it sounds very interesting. Another thing that we do know about, or rather we now know about X-Men Dark Phoenix is that we're going to be getting new mutants, not new mutants, but new members. I mean, we are getting new mutants in a different film, but we are getting new members in the X-Men, such as Dazzler. Dazzler will be is confirmed to be appearing in X-Men Dark Phoenix. It's not going to be that huge of a role, but it is going to be a character that is going to appear in X-Men Dark Phoenix. If you don't remember, in X-Men Apocalypse, they did include a kind of like a little bit of an Easter egg for Dazzler, but now she will really be playing a part in the film. So that's pretty cool. Moving on, let's talk about X-Men New Mutants. And writer-director Josh Boone actually confirmed that X-Men New Mutants is going to play out more like a horror film, which is kind of an interesting direction. It's going to stray away from the young adult genre of storytelling, more to horror. Let's see what he had to say. He says, "We are making a full-fledged horror movie set within the X-Men universe. There are no costumes, there are no supervillains. We're trying to do something very, very different." Held in a secret facility against their will, 5 new mutants have to battle the dangers of their powers as well as the sins of their past. They aren't out to save the world. They're just trying to save themselves. "You can't have a bigger nerd or fan making this. It's so important to me. I'm not the 12-year-old who decided to write Stephen King a letter and love Marvel Comics anymore, but I try to hold myself accountable to that kid. Because that kid is what keeps me from becoming a Hollywood whore," he says with a laugh. I look back and think, would he think this would be cool? Would he be proud of me? Did I fulfill the dream we had when we were kids? So yeah, you can definitely say I'm excited. Very, very interesting take on this genre. X-Men New Mutants is going to feel more like a horror film as opposed to like a young adult film that takes place in in high school. So that's going to be pretty interesting, and I'm actually really looking forward to this even more so than X-Men Dark Phoenix. Don't get me wrong, I really want to see Dark Phoenix, but this is going to be a brand new direction. It's going to feel fresh, and I'm looking forward to it. Anyways, moving on, let's talk about X-Men New Mutants and the casting. They have Stranger Things star, what is his name? Charlie Heaton. Stranger Things star Charlie Heaton, who's going to be playing Cannonball. And also, we have 13 Reasons Why actor Henry Zaga to play Sunspot. And also, we have Blue Hunt to play Moonstar. And I don't know if they have completed their casting, but it looks like the casting phase is very proactive right now, so that's fantastic. Moving on, let's talk about Sony's Spider-Verse. And right now we know so far is that we have Gina Prince Bythewood, who is set to direct Silver and Black. That would be the story about Black Cat and Silver Sable, which is also rumored to have Kraven the Hunter to appear in this film. And Kraven the Hunter was one of the more famous villains in who went up against Spider-Man. So that's just a rumor, but if he really does appear, then that's going to be interesting to see him go up against a Silver Sable and Black Cat and not up against Spider-Man. So I can't say that I'm extremely excited about this film, but it's definitely a film that I will be watching just because I'm very curious to see what Sony really wants to do with what they've got. And all they've got is really just like a whole library of Spider-Man villains and the Spider-Man character, but right now they're lending that Spider-Man character to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so it looks like we're not going to be getting that character back into the Sony-verse for a while, or at least until Marvel is done with it. But that leads us to wonder, is this the same universe? Like, what is really going on here? Like, is the Spider-Verse from Sony separate or a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Based on what Kevin Feige says, he confirmed that right now it's just Spidey who's part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and not the other characters. Here's what he had to say. Right now, Spidey is in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it's just Spidey, Civil War, Homecoming. We've already shot a lot of Tom Holland's scene in the upcoming Avengers film, and we're just starting to solidify our plans for Homecoming 2. We won't call it that, whatever it is, which is exciting because it'll be the first Marvel Cinematic Universe movie after Untitled Avengers in 2019. It will be the way Civil War informed everything in Homecoming. Those movies will launch him into a very new cinematic universe. At that point, those 5 movies are we're focusing on. Also, speaking to Alicine about the Venom during a press interview for Spider-Man Homecoming, he says, when the producer was asked about the Sony project, Feige had to say this: "For now, there is no plan for Venom in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's a Sony project." So he just confirmed that. Now, what is going on with the Venom film? We do know that Tom Hardy is going to be playing Venom, which is awesome, but it's also confirmed that Venom movie will include Carnage as the villain, which is so exciting. That's really, really exciting because for a while, since the original Sam Raimi trilogy, we have always wondered, when is Carnage going to play a part in the Sony, the Sam Raimi films. He never did appear in the Spider-Man films, and he didn't appear in the Amazing Spider-Man films, parts 1 and 2. And after seeing Venom in Spider-Man 3, we were just thinking, we kind of want more out of that. That was not a good interpretation of Venom. So now we're getting a full-on solo film, and not only that, we're getting Carnage. And here's what Sony Sony CEO Tim Rothman had to say. As for the expansion plans, Tom Hardy is starring in Venom, dated for October 5th, 2018, which will also feature the villain Carnage. A source says Holland is only contractually obligated to Spider-Man 2 and 3, but the intention is to bring him into the spin-offs and possibly other Marvel films. He is currently shooting Marvel's Avengers Infinity War. So it looks like once Marvel Studios is done with Spider-Man, then Sony gets him back. And then, I think that's a great way to actually kick off Spider-Man back into Sony's Spider-Verse. So that's a great way to go about it because, after building up all these other characters, supporting characters into Spider-Verse, then bringing Tom Holland back will really be a great way to, make it, kick it off into something really, really big. After all, they have established that Tom Holland is going to be play a solid role in that universe, and people will really have loved him by then this is a great way to really ride the coattails. So that's going to be pretty exciting. And you might have read some interviews where Amy Pascal, one of the I don't even remember what her main title is in Sony, but she's quite big up there. I forgot what it is. I should know. But anyways, Amy Pascal says, was interviewed saying that all the films that they're making, Black Cat and Silver Sable, Silver and Black, and also the Venom film is part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And when I read that, I was like, no, it's not. You don't get to say that. You don't get to put these films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Kevin Feige makes that call, all right? It's kind of like how the Netflix Marvel series, like Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage and Iron Fist, people say that, or rather it is claimed that they're part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They're not really. I mean, they are, but it is they cater to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The Marvel Cinematic Universe does not cater to the Netflix series. You know what I'm saying? the Netflix series makes references to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the films, but the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they don't care what happens in the Netflix universe, so it's kind of like that. But anyways, Amy Pascal actually confirmed now that Venom, Silver Sable, and Black Cat are not in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And when doing an interview with Fandango, Eric Davis, actually, who writes for Fandango, mentioned that he just spoke with Amy Pascal and Kevin Feige, who clarified that Venom, Black Cat are in the Marvel comic universe, but not in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Pascal said she was itching to clarify that after the story this week, those other movies will not take place in a Marvel Cinematic Universe. So there you have it. Just like what I said, they do not belong in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They're in the Marvel movie comic book universe, but it's not part of the cinematic universe that Marvel Studios has. So that is 100% clear now. And I always felt that, no, that cannot happen. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It is the only connection that'll take place is when Tom Holland is done with his contract with Marvel Studios, and then he gets brought back into the Sony Spider-Verse. Then they can continue, in which it will totally confuse fans. But anyways, that is what's going on. I'm pretty excited about all these films, and I don't have high hopes for what Sony has to offer, but I am looking forward to it, and I want those films to be good. I want it to do well, and I want them to be really, really good, so that we can move forward with their universe. Hopefully, it doesn't end up like the Amazing Spider-Man 2 franchise, where it just starts off, and then it ends poorly, and then that was done, and then they have to reboot it again, which in this case, they're rebooting again in a completely different direction. Anyways, that's all I gotta say in this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. There's more to come as more updates follow up, and that's all there is to it. and there you have it. Anyways, as always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter, Ragin Nation. My name is Alex Yu. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. Because of the story and the performances. First of all, Kate Mara does a terrific job in giving us a really, really believable performance.